The case against the Pretoria cabbage planter has been withdrawn. John Kuna shared on social media he received a letter from municipal courts notifying him about the withdrawal. Nkuma made headlines in September, remember, when he accused city officials of abuse of their power after they fined him for planting crops, including cabbage, on a public road reserved outside his home. Well, for more on this latest development now, joined by Mr. Nkuna. Good afternoon, Mavutani. Thank you very much for your time. Welcome to eNCA here this afternoon. How do you feel now that you have been vindicated?
Good afternoon, Tatana Moyani. Well, it is our victory. You know, things like this are not supposed to happen. I can say that I feel relieved that the ordeal is now ended, yes.
Yeah, so the letter just said the case has been withdrawn. You were not giving any rationale for the withdrawal, because from what I understand at the time, the Tshwane Metro was insisting that you were breaking the bylaws.
On the 28th of September, we submitted our representations, myself and my lawyers, to the prosecutors in Pretoria North and Winderness. We tabulated that there is no such bylaw that prevents people from planting cabbage or onion or whatsoever. So there's no bylaw, amongst other things, that this was an abuse of power, and the prosecutors have completely agreed with us. So they mentioned that actually in their letter, to say that they've taken into consideration our representations and the issues that we have raised there, to say that there's actually no law that prescribes that you can plant cabbage or onion or roses or grass. The street reserve belongs to the state. If the state does not like what you're doing, they simply remove it.
Okay, so talking about the removal of your plants, have they been removed? And now that this case has been withdrawn, are you planning to plant some fresh vegetables?
There is always fresh vegetables in my corner. Even when this saga was going on, even on the day that I received the fine, up to when it was withdrawn last week, there were always vegetables and plants there, because I can't leave the front of my house looking like a desert. No, it can't be like that. So I've got potatoes, I've got onions, I've got other things that were actually planted there, and I'll continue to plant, yes.
Okay, and the fine, by the way, you were fined, what, 1,500 Rand? Am I correct?
I was given a malicious fine of 1,500, which had no basis, because you must remember what they fined me for. They said I interfered with government land, with government property. I interfere with it every day when I cut my grass, when I plant the lawn, when I water the lawn, I interfere with it. So that there was no basis for such a fine actually against me. So yes. So with
the withdrawal, are you getting your money back?
I never paid that malicious fine, Tatana Moyana, because you must remember that the matter now was sub judice. We're going to court. We should have been in court yesterday. So the fine was never paid, and there's no need to pay such a fine since it was set aside.
Yeah. So Mabutane, the neighborhood, I mean, where you live and stuff like that, are they taking your lead now and also using those empty plots? I mean, sometimes we plant lawns outside there, as you say, we plant roses, but you've gone the route of planting something which is very useful for the household of the Mabutanes.
I will tell you this, Tatana Moyana, in short. The very same Metro police officers who gave me the fine, they also indicated to me of other people, actually, who are other residents who are actually planting at a much more grander and better scale than I'm doing in front of their lawns. Here in Pretoria, I went to the addresses to go and look at, and I was very impressed. And also, I was also inspired by some of these residents. Here in Pretoria, in Wonderboom, there's a residence who's actually even having professional irrigation outside. You know, so I am not the only one. Unfortunately, this abuse has happened to me, which I cannot explain until today.
Okay, so now the case has been withdrawn. Legally, are there any next steps for you? Or you said to me you are relieved, this is where you leave the case and you continue doing your vegetable garden?
Tatara Moyana, you know, when you fight with your brother, you don't go down and burn down his house. You know, I don't want to fight to the death. I don't want to sue anyone. Because you must remember, if I sue the state and when I win, I'm taking money from the taxpayers. And for me, this has been a really a non-issue, which has become a mountain. So I want to leave it at that. And I hope that the TMPD, the other people involved, including Mr. Mahamba, the spokesperson, have learned something to always speak the truth. Because he said to the people, to the residents, that I've been charged in terms of the Traffic Act, which was complete nonsense and a lie. I hope that they have learned, and a spokesperson must always speak the truth.
Okay, now finally, just on a lighter note, who does the planting, Mr. or Mrs. Nkuna? Who actually goes there and do the work of planting the vegetables? Tell us.
Tatara Moyana, you know that ladies have got these very expensive nails, very fragile, very expensive. You know, so I don't know any lady who actually will go and dig the soil with their fingers. So I do most of the planting. My wife do the harvesting and collection all the way to Soshanguve.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I love your spirit as well. So this is the end of the legal issue, and well done to you. And I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful spread there at Christmas with fresh organic stuff from your garden there in Pretoria. Thank you very much. That's Joe.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. That's Joe Nkuna, who became a so-called famous vegetable pavement garden from Tshwane, when, as he said, he was unlawfully accused by the local authorities of breaking so many laws which actually do not apply in this case. But now the case has been withdrawn, and this is where he lives it, and he'll continue with his vegetable garden there on the pavement of his home